Hi guys, and welcome back to the Move Me Back series. Okay, so today I have a very special guest. This is Trevor, and today I'm going to be asking Trevor all about his experience moving from, guess where? The UK to Ghana. I have to stress the fact that you came from the UK because, you know, I feel like we have a little connection here because we're from the same place, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, most definitely. So
Trevor, you're in Ghana.
I know.
So tell me, okay, first of all, let's start. How long have you been here?
Geez, I moved over here end of August. To be
Okay.
precise, 22nd of August. I moved over to Ghana.
Of last year?
Of last year,
Okay.
2021.
Right, okay.
So,
That's pretty recent.
Pretty recent. Yeah.
And how are you finding it?
I love it. I love the fact that you can wake up and you can wake up at 5 in the morning. It doesn't feel that early. You wake up at 6 in the morning. It doesn't feel like you still want to stay in bed and that sort of thing, but you can still chill out. And I just love the fact that, you know, it just gradually just wears on you.
Yeah.
Like you kind of just get up and just feel the day actually extending and expanding kind of thing. And I kind of enjoy that a lot more than when I was in the UK. In the UK, it would hit like 6, 7 in the morning, and you don't want to get out of bed. You just want to be like, oh, I don't want to go to work.
Turn over.
I just want to turn over and be like, nah, hit the snooze. Do you know? But over here, you're like, do you know what? I can actually go out. I can actually feel vibrant. I feel the sunlight and things like that. So it's quite a positive feeling. It's quite different waking up over in Ghana than it is when I'm waking up in the UK. So I enjoy that.
Good.
I enjoy that.
Okay, so did you come to Ghana by yourself?
I didn't actually. I brought my wife and my 3 kids.
Oh, yes. It's a family affair.
It's definitely a family affair.
I love that. You know what? I love it so much because a lot of people, when they're transitioning to Ghana, they tend to be like one person comes, leaves the others behind, and kind of like they come later.
Yeah.
So I think I just love it when families just come together. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing it the other way. I just find it so like, this is like,
I think for me, it feels a bit more wholesome, and it feels more like you're doing as a team, as opposed to coming to kind of scout the land and then go back with feedback and be like, okay, it's good, let's all go. I think, but my experience has always been where my kids, from when they were 4 months old, each one of them came to Ghana.
Oh, okay.
From 4 months old, and then subsequently every year they were coming to Ghana. But I don't think we're getting a full impact of what it was like to be in Ghana. We were always coming almost like a tourist.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I didn't really get to grasp with it, and I really wanted my kids to get to grasp with their roots, that they're not just Ghanaians, but they're Africans, and they need to be on African soil. They need to understand the concept of Africa and what it means and how it relates to them and that sort of thing. So that was very key for me.
How old are your children?
I've got a 10-year-old, is my oldest boy, and I've got my second boy who's 8, and then my beautiful daughter who is 6 years old.
Aww.
So she's a sweetheart.
And how are they finding it?
It's a good transition for them. I think when it comes to education, they're really, really benefiting from that. I'm really seeing a lot of stride between the time of them being here to now than where they were previously.
Right.
But I think it's a bit of a mixed bag in the sense that they're over here, they're going to a private school. When they were over in the UK, it wasn't a private school. You know, so that has a different dynamics in terms of class size, in terms of teachers, and that sort of thing. So I think that makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I see. So what kind of caused you to say, right, it's time for us to move to the motherland? What was that thing that caused you to do that?
That's a big question. There's a few things actually, to be fair. It was something that I'd written almost, I have like a vision board, and I'd written before I even came to Ghana for the first time after 25 years in 2012. And I'd written that I wanted to come to Ghana. I'd written that I wanted to work in real estate, open up hospitals, clinics, and that sort of thing, and possible schools and that. And then in 2012 I came here for the first time, and I fell in love with it. And I was coming every year thereafter, and I worked in Ghana in 2014 for a little while, about 18 months or so. My family came and joined me then for about 12 months, and subsequently we went back because of my wife. She was working in the medical field, and we're having my last born as well. So we went back to the UK and kind of settled down over there. But subsequently, there's been a few things that actually made us decide, or made me really consider coming back to Ghana. I had a few friends of ours that were looking when the Black Lives Matter situation all kicked off with George Floyd and so forth. And I think at that point there was a lot of tension in the air in the UK.
Yeah.
And especially in London and things like that, and literally across the whole world, what was going on in the US and things like that. And so that kind of allowed us to revisit our initial plans to move to Ghana initially and so forth. And so we're like, okay, that sounds quite good. And it was quite a poignant time to obviously consider it. And then of course, we then had the time in between that with the lockdown. And then so we started to see, we started to see that people could work remotely. And that was a really big game changer for us as well, because I work in real estate. And so we were doing business still during the lockdown, and that was really good for us. So we're like, okay, well, if you could do it, you don't need to be in an office, you could do it remotely. What is the problem? Why stay in one place to do the same thing that you can do somewhere else? And also the thing with Ghana is that it's the same time zone. Until recently, it was the same time zone by an hour now. But it was the same time zone, so effectively you could do your daily chore or work the same period, you know, and just be in Ghana and do it. So that was also a huge game changer. And I think it crept into something else where I had a group of us who were looking to invest, and were looking to invest in Africa. And Ghana seemed like the ripe sort of landscape to consider as well. And so we considered Ghana, and so we came in 2021 April. There's about six of us that came as investors, and we looked at the landscape and we were really blown away. We went to Takoradi, we went to Accra, we went to a few other places, Pram as well.
So you really went around.
Just to scope out the landscape and things like that. We're like, this is something that really good to consider and things like that. So that gave us the opportunity. So when I went back, actually before I went back, I went to a couple of bars and a couple of clubs, and I saw really young people. Really young people. I'm talking about early 20s to sort of like mid 20s, 30s, early 30s, that were all in Ghana. And I was like, what is going on? I haven't come across this before when I came down, but what is actually going on? And this was all through the pandemic. So it looks like, and when I had a chat with a few of them, they were just like, you know, I was here initially planned for 2 weeks Christmas holiday. I'm still here 3 months later. I'm still here 5 months later. So a lot of people, especially teachers as well, were really going through that process where they were able to work remotely. So that was really interesting. And I was like, no, I can't afford to miss the boat. This is all gearing telltale signs. So when I went back in April, after our brief stint with the guys and everything else, we went back to the UK. I spoke to my wife. My wife was like, do you know what? Why don't we consider moving to Ghana? I was like, really? So that's where it all kind of kicked off. And I was like, okay. So she started to look for schools, and then the rest is history, as they say.
Okay. Right, so your wife, is she Ghanaian as well?
She actually isn't. She's like me. She's born in the UK, but her heritage is Nigerian, Igbo, to be precise. Anambra.
Wow. So then how did you decide between moving to Nigeria and moving to Ghana?
Oh. I'm not too sure there's a comparison between the two. But having said that, I've also been to Nigeria, and I like Nigeria quite a lot. I like the people a lot. I like their tenacity. I like their drive. Wherever they go, they will make a success of it. Do you know what I mean? I love that about them. But it wasn't a decision of whether to go to Nigeria or to come to Ghana. I think Ghana was an easier, obviously, choice I felt at the time, because my family are from Ghana. My wife came, she felt safe, she felt secure, and that sort of stuff. There wasn't that sort of issue with sort of like armed robbery and kidnapping and those kind of things. And the schools are really good. A lot of Nigerians bring their kids to Ghana schools and things like that. And so for us, it seemed like an easier choice. It wasn't a comparison actually to say, should we consider Nigeria or should we consider Ghana? It was just like Ghana was
just very natural kind of.
it was just like Ghana would be probably the better of the two if there was a comparison, to be fair. But it wasn't like that.
Okay, so you mentioned that you were into real estate.
Yes.
And you mentioned working from home, but now you're here. So are you doing real estate still in the UK? I'm confused. Tell us.
Okay, so we have a company in the UK. It's called Trevor and Properties Limited, and that is still functioning. So we cover predominantly central London, Canary Wharf, and within the M25. So that's what we cover. And subsequently, we were having a lot of people that were saying, look, I want to buy properties in Ghana. I want to do something in Ghana, and I don't know how to go about it. There's a lot of people that had a lot of concerns with sending money to their families and relatives and being told that the houses have been built. They come over and literally there's a tree that's in the land, or if there is a land at all, and everything's with it. So having come across quite a few people having the same experiences and not having the transparency and having to forfeit their money and funds, there's a lot of lack of trust in that sort of like arena. So we thought, okay, we're already in Ghana. It's a good landscape. The real estate industry is booming and it seems quite active. This is something for us to cut our teeth into and obviously get hold of it. And so we set up a company called Trevor and Ghana, which is almost like a sister company of Trevor Properties in the UK. And then so that's how we're working with the real estate on the side. So two separate organisations, but have the similar themes in dealing with Accra and surrounding areas, both in sales and rentals and also in land.
So how do you find having to move between the two? So are you still working on what's happening in the UK as well as working on what's here?
Absolutely. I love delving into the two markets.
That's why you don't answer your text messages on time. You see, because you're too busy.
Sorry, apologies about that. Apologies. It's really interesting for me because I've been working in properties for over 20 years.
Long time.
So yeah, it's been a long time, and I love the London market. It's very fluid. The market that we deal with is middle to higher end of the market. Those we tend to find them a lot more focused or dedicated and committed. So that kind of makes things a lot easier for us. If somebody said they want to buy something, more than likely they're going to make an offer and they're going to try and proceed with it. So that makes things a lot easier. Also to keep your mind on the markets and things like that, because we also have investments in London. So for us, it's quite good for us not only just to look from a business perspective, but also from a personal perspective. How's the market dealing in London and things like that, and what is happening over there as well. So for us, it keeps us active on that side. And in Ghana as well, I love Ghana. For the people, my people, as much as it can be frustrating sometimes, I think once you realise that you're not here to change the people, you have to accept them for who they are, and obviously they tolerate us to a certain extent and accept us with open arms. So I think for us coming up from the diaspora, I think we should be a bit more considerate of those that are already here. They're not as exposed to us as we have been. So I think we should appreciate them a lot more. You know,
I like what you've just said, because I think it's something that a lot of people don't look at that way. They just feel like, I'm going to go to the motherland and I'm going to change everything. This is how it should be done, and and it doesn't necessarily do that. And that's why some people get frustrated. They feel like, oh, it's not happening, and so they end up going back because they feel like they can't make the change that they want to make. Because I think what you've made is a very valid point. You know, it's not about trying to change the people; it's about coming and trying to adapt to what is already here.
So it's already on ground, and these people have been here. And look, I've seen people sit under the same tree and be like, okay, you say whatever you want to say, you act the way you want to act and whatever, but we'll still be sitting under this tree. You go and come, and you still see us. You know? And so for them, it's like there's no urgency. So I think once you understand that this is the climate, this is somewhere where it's slightly different to where we're coming from, because we're coming from an environment where time is of the essence. Everything is pushed according to time, organising and things like that. So when we're coming, someone said they're going to meet you on time and they don't turn up, and you're like, you know, 30 minutes has gone by, they haven't called you, you know, an hour's gone by, you're chasing them and still no picking up the phone. You're getting frustrated. For them, it's normal, but for us, it's not. So there's a real dichotomy there. But I think once you understand how they work, and then you can adapt it to suit you best and then go from there. So you're less frustrated, I'll say. You're less frustrated.
Absolutely. Okay, so that kind of leads me to my next question, because I was going to ask you about some of the things that you find difficult about living here.
Oh, wow.
So you kind of like just touched on one, really, you know?
I think, okay, so when I came to Ghana a few years back, I always analysed and I always thought to myself, do you know what? I really want to do something which is going to get me to the level I was in the UK over here. But as I stayed on ground, I started to see that no, these these are Ghanaians. You can't just change them overnight,
No,
and they're not
absolutely
looking to be changed.
Yeah, yeah.
If anything, we need to change because they've been here. So we need to adapt our game
Yeah.
if we want to get anything from them. So I think that's where the frustration initially was. I think it was a bit of frustration trying to get them to work according to our time scale.
yeah.
And that was a wrong mistake, I think, from our side. And also trying to convince them to see things our way immediately.
Yeah.
Without actually taking them out of the environment because they've always been in this environment and all they know
Yeah.
is this environment.
Yeah.
So without taking them out of the environment, it's very difficult to shape someone's
Of course.
imagination or mindset, you know. So that was a brief challenge. So this goes with, in my opinion, it goes with coaching and it goes with a small nudge and,
Yeah.
you know, prep and here and there and obviously letting them see things. And nowadays you've got YouTube, so they don't need to travel so far. They don't need to go to the UK. They don't need to go
It's just
to
a
the
matter
US.
of time,
yeah, it's just a matter
right?
of time before things change. And when I first came to Ghana in 2012, the developments that I was seeing back then to what I'm seeing now, it's huge difference.
I always say it. It's just
Huge
completely,
difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I think Ghanaians have moved
Yeah.
a lot from what I've seen.
absolutely.
I know for a lot of people it still seems a little bit
Yeah.
delayed, but for me it's huge. Like, you know, you're talking about Ubers,
Yeah.
and you're talking about Bolt, and you're talking about Yango and
Yeah.
things like that. And when I was coming, it was just taxi or
Yeah.
trotro.
Taxi.
Yeah, you know, and they will quote you any sort of price that they feel your accent demanded.
This one.
Yeah. You know, like, look at your trainers, look at your sunglasses, or look at your watch, and then
That's all over
the prices,
now. Yeah.
the prices
Yeah.
kind of start shifting. Not in a downward trajectory, but
yeah. No, absolutely.
that sort of thing. So, but now it's almost like a fair market when it comes to those things.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
for me, it's a blessing. It's a
Yeah,
blessing, actually.
For sure. So I know we already spoke about some of the things that you already love about Ghana. You spoke about waking up in the morning, how easy it is. So what do you value that, because you've brought your children, so what are you like really hoping for them to get out of this experience of being here?
Wow, experience. This is where they're from. This is Africa. The continent Africa is where people like us are from, and I think we ought to own it. For me personally, this is my view. I think we need to own it and be accepting of it. That Africa is where we're from. I think once we identify that this is where we're from,
Yeah.
and this is who we are as a people, I think we could then take the next step and be like, okay, then culturally we accept who we are, and we accept that we're from a flourishing land, which a lot of people love to be here. You wake up in the sun, you wake up and you've got mangoes, you got oranges growing in your backyard, you got watermelon, you got whatever fruits, bananas, plantain. This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is avocado, like, gosh.
Yeah.
All these fruits in the UK and in Europe, you're paying a lot of money for it, but this
course.
is growing in your back garden.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
I can't see where the issue is, personally. That's number one. But also, I want my kids to have a sense of identity.
Very important.
And I think, for me personally, I think being in the UK, there was a shift in that perspective because you don't always see people that identify as yourself.
Absolutely.
I think you also lack the cultural appropriation. Like here, you can eat wache in the morning if you wanted to. You got cocoa, you got red or whatever it is, and these are cultural identifications of who you are and what you eat, kind of scenario and things like that. But when you're in Europe, you are having to eat your fish and chips, and you are having to adapt with your sandwiches.
Very funny that you say that, because when we were here and I was sending my children to school, one day I sent them with lunch and I made them sandwiches and I gave it to them and they were eating at lunchtime, and the teacher said to them, next time tell your mum to give you some proper food to eat. You gotta pack the rice, you know. And I was like, okay then. Like, I was just used to packing sandwiches, you know, but here it's like, that's not food.
That's not food.
Yeah.
That's not gonna feed no one. That's not gonna wash. So it's those kind of things. So for me, it was more to do with identity. And I think it was important that my kids get to love their hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get to love their complexion. Get to identify that they're not a minority.
It builds confidence, doesn't it?
And I didn't want it to be a case where I'll have to continuously or consistently have to reinforce positive affirmations. I didn't think it was right, and I didn't think it was fair, because I didn't think that those that are brought up in the UK who are white needed to do that continuously for their kids, apart from the normal stuff like, you know, study hard and do your best at school and the normal affirmations. And I think for us, when we're in Europe, I think we do more for our kids. You have to work twice as hard. You got to do 3 times as much. You got to make sure you stand upright. You got to make sure you have eye contact. You got to make sure you shake hands firmly. You got to do this and you got to do that. On top of, you do know that you are black, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's a lot to process, right?
So I think as a child, I think we should be able to allow a child to be free and explore as they would do, but also not have to be so judgmental of themselves. And I think them growing up over here, I saw my middle child especially, he was very young, and I think he was going through the transition of identifying with his hairstyle and his hair texture and what he can do with his hairstyle and his complexion and all that kind of stuff, and wanted his hairstyle to be like his friend Ollie and things like that, and to try and explain to him that, okay, you know, you can have your hair whatever style you want it, but you can't have it like Ollie. For example, you can identify with, why can't I?
Yes, these things that you don't always,
So, but when he's over here, he's like, oh, Daddy, you know what? I want to have my hair like this, and I want to get this haircut, and Daddy, you know, the rushing to the barbers, and I want it this side, and it's exciting.
So nice.
It's exciting.
That's
For me, it's really, really exciting. My daughter does her hair, and she gets plaits, and she either wants little beads in it or something along those lines.
Oh, that's so nice.
And so for me, it's like, I don't have to reinforce that. The environment does that.
It's natural,
the environment does that. So that's one less headache.
Okay, so I know you've only just come like August, so if you were to do it again today, if you were to be moving to Ghana again today, is there anything that you would do differently to what you did coming here?
Oh, move here earlier.
There you go. Okay.
That probably would have been it, because I think, as mentioned, I did come to Ghana and I worked here for around about 18 months. And I think at that point, I should have probably invested in possibly buying a house, an apartment or something that would have made things a lot easier to come and find a base where I would be there, because all those times when I was coming, we were using Airbnb. And also it's nice because we have family over here and you can stay with family, but it's nice to stay with family, but sometimes it's not the best.
You need space, right?
And there's also there's a cultural difference between how we do things in the UK and how people do things in Ghana, and sometimes it's a bit full on if you don't understand the concept and if you don't appreciate how people do things here. It can become a bit of a conflict as opposed to something more positive. So
I understand.
You kind of better to have Airbnb, and that comes at a cost. And how long can you do that for?
Exactly.
Things like that. So those are the kind of things I probably would have said, okay, if I was coming initially, then I should have had maybe my own base where the family could come and feel comfortable and move straight in and things like that. But at the same time, it's also good to use the Airbnb because it allows you to explore different locations.
Exactly.
Before you kind of settle down.
Because the last thing you want to do is put down 2 years and then I hate this area.
I don't like this area. The score's not good.
And it's very true.
So what do you do? You rent out your home and then you move 5 miles this way. And then, it's also a good time for you to explore, and I think that's what allowed us to be able to do, to explore, to find them a good school. To assess whether the school was good enough for them, it was adaptable to their needs and how they can best benefit from the school as well. You know?
So you've given lots of nuggets in what you're saying right now, but what would you say if someone was to be wanting to move to Ghana right now? What is one key piece of advice that you'd give to the person that could be a game changer for them? I'll put you on the spot, aren't I?
Wow, it depends obviously on the person and what the person is hoping to get from here. It also depends whether the person has a family or whether they're coming as an individual.
A family man, just like
family like me. Okay, so I would say definitely work out what school would be ideal for your kids. That would determine the location where you'll be based. So I think that would be quite key. Set a budget for where you are, because Ghana has a way of depleting cash.
Mm.
And this is like amazing. It's almost like you keep doing the calculation. Like if it's sterling, it's like 1 to 10. Oh, I'm only spending £1. But you can spend 100 quid in a day, and in the UK you wouldn't do £20.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that
absolutely.
is very tricky. Ghana
Yeah.
has a way of
It does.
you being spending pretty much nothing
Yeah.
to suddenly spending
Everything.
everything
Yep.
in a day.
Absolutely.
And you're like, hold on a minute, where did I actually go and what did I do? You know, so
It's true.
it's that sort of thing that I think you have to be aware of. So
Yeah, no,
I definitely advise someone to be considerate
Yeah,
of that.
no, I fully
you
agree.
know?
Even today, my daughter was saying to me, Mum, can we just go to the shop? I just want to get something. I was like, I'm not leaving this house today because I'm not ready to spend anywhere. I was like, I'm not going. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
because the minute you step out of your house, you will spend.
You will spend.
You will spend.
Yeah.
And it just goes like that.
It has that ability to pull you.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just buy coconut.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? Let me just buy mango, or let me go to Malcolm. Let me go to Palace.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Let's go out for a little lunch.
And then it's
a whole
thousand cities you had in your pocket is just
depleted.
not there anymore.
Just depleted.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting though. It's interesting. And I think that's what makes it more intriguing to be over here and find a joy in being here, because every day is like a learning process. So,
absolutely, it really is.
Good,
Yeah, see? Thank you so much for talking
No
to me
problem.
today. I've just really enjoyed listening to you and listening to your experience. It kind of reminds me a bit of my own, and so it's really nice to hear from you and all of that. It's really been really good. So thank you so much for talking to me today
Thank you.
and taking the time out from your busy day. I know you've been so busy, right?
It has been busy. It has been
Yeah.
busy. But this is good though, because at least this allows me to be able to reflect on some of the things. Because I think sometimes we could just be so focused on our goals that just having a chat like this doesn't become frequent enough.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
so
I
this
agree.
is nice, sitting under a mango tree and being able to enjoy even the mosquitoes.
I know, right?
Visiting us is a joy, you know. But it's just one of those things. So thank you, really appreciate your time as well.
Thank you. So guys, there you have it. It's been another interesting conversation. I hope you've picked up lots from this conversation today, because I know I have. But guys, if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it so much if you would please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button for me and the notification bell. And don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. I'd appreciate it very much. Until next time, we are out. Nuti Fafa.
Peace.
Nuti Fafa means peace.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.